In a country where it's perfectly legal to kill your baby in the womb a day before that baby is born, we have this hypocrisy coming out of the Daily Mail. Cheerleader Skylar Richardson avoids prison and is sentenced to 3 years probation for burying her baby in her backyard after apologizing to the infant's father's family. Cheerleader Skylar Richardson, who buried her baby in her backyard after giving birth in secret, walked free from court on Friday with a 3-year probation sentence after offering a groveling apology to the baby's father's family. Richardson was acquitted of murdering the baby on Thursday after a dramatic trial in Lebanon, Ohio, but she was convicted of gross abuse of a corpse, a felony which carries a maximum prison sentence of 1 year. What hypocrisy! This girl is standing trial for the possible murder of her own child in a world that, according to the World Health Organization, murders 125,000 babies every single day. We have baby murdering abortion mills killing children under legal protection all the time, all over the country, and not one of those doctors stands trial for murder, let alone gross abuse of a corpse. It's such hypocrisy. It's like, hey, you can't kill the child unless we, the government, say you can. If you kill him without our permission, then we're going to drag you into court. In May 2017, she gave birth in the middle of the night on the toilet of her family home and then buried the infant, who she called Annabelle, in her backyard. She was caught 2 months later after confessing to a gynecologist. Prosecutors said she murdered Annabelle, but she said the baby was stillborn. A jury took her side after just 3 hours on Thursday, acquitting her on aggravated murder and manslaughter charges. Because 20-year-old Skylar was a first-time offender, the judge sentenced her to probation for the gross abuse of corpse charge, but scolded her, quote, grotesque disregard for life, and said her baby would be alive today if she had made different choices. Skylar spoke for the first time throughout the trial before being sentenced. She apologized to the baby's father's mother, who had spoken moments earlier on behalf of prosecutors to ask for a harsher sentence. The baby's father was Trey Johnson, a teenager she'd had a fling with in 2016. He never knew she was pregnant and only learned the baby was his after his mother read it on a Facebook group 3 months after Skylar's July 2017 arrest. Skylar told the court that she knew she could be selfish, but had changed. Judge Oda agreed to release the baby's skeletal remains, which have been held as evidence since they were excavated in July 2018, to Skylar's family, but said she must give the baby's father's family access to them. They said they have a spot for her in the family burial plot. Skylar's father also asked the judge for leniency before she was sentenced. He said he was concerned about her health and that she had a severe eating disorder. Skylar's attorney said her weight had dropped to just 89 pounds throughout the trial and that she needed to seek care. In May 2017, Skylar gave birth in the middle of the night to a baby girl she called Annabelle. She told no one she was pregnant, and her family says they could not tell because her weight fluctuated so much as it was. Skylar said she gave birth to a stillborn on the toilet in the upstairs bathroom of her family home in Carlisle, Ohio. She buried the baby afterwards in her backyard and was caught 2 months later when she tearfully confessed to a gynecologist what she had done. Prosecutors believe the baby was born alive and that Skylar killed her because she did not want her to intervene with her perfect life. They also claim that she had set fire to it, initially basing the allegation on the finding from a pathologist who said the bones, once they'd been excavated, looked burned. The pathologist later recanted her claim, but before she did, detectives interviewed Skylar for a second time. During that interview, she confessed to, quote, trying to cremate her a little after being told by them repeatedly that they knew she did something with fire. On Thursday, both prosecutors and defense attorneys presented their closing arguments. Prosecutors said it was convenient for her to have given birth to a dead baby and asked jurors not to believe her. One of the prosecutors said, all of the stars did not just align for her to have a stillborn child that she didn't want, told no one about, made no preparations for, and concealed and buried her in the backyard, all so that she could maintain the appearance and image of her perfect life. That's ridiculous. They also referred back to a text message Skylar sent her mother in the hours after she delivered the baby, where she said she was happy to have her belly back. The message read, quote, "I'm literally speechless with how happy I am. I'm literally so excited now just for dinner to wear something cute. Yay, my belly is back. And now I'm taking this opportunity to make it amazing." I'm going to play this video where the judge hands down the verdict, but listen closely to what he says. And think of the hypocrisy in the context of today's climate of my body, my choice. This girl literally made a choice with her own body and is judged by a different standard because she, according to the prosecutors, chose to kill her baby outside of the legal abortion mill option. Here's the video.
Your Honor, this has been a difficult ordeal for the entire family, including the defendant's side or the prosecution side. My daughter is suffering from an eating disorder and we're concerned for her health. Anything you can do to help us get her home soon so we can take care of her, we greatly appreciate it. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Judge,
Mr. Vickers?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would do anything and above that you ask, and I understand. And I just wanted to say how sorry I was. I can sometimes be selfish, but I would like to think that I've become better in the knowledge that I've upset everyone and hurt so many people with what I've done. And I'm forever sorry, and I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry, and I understand. And thank you.
Over 2 years. Actually, part of it is still in the Supreme Court, even as we speak right now. And I've always sort of thought of this case, Ms. Richardson, as a story of two little girls, Skylar Richardson and Annabelle Richardson. And, you know, I have a daughter about your age, Ms. Richardson, and I have a granddaughter about the age that Annabelle would be right now. The jury found that the state did not prove that you were guilty of killing your baby, either intentionally by way of aggravated murder or recklessly by the involuntary manslaughter. But in all of this mess that we have with this case, I think what often gets overlooked, Ms. Richardson, is just how precious life is. Your life, Annabelle's life, life is precious, and it should be protected, and it should be guarded in all respects. And I have reviewed all of the expert reports in this case. I listened to the expert's testimony. I firmly believe, Ms. Richardson, in fact, I know in my heart that if you would have made different decisions in this case, Annabelle would be here today. And I know that might be difficult for you to hear. Some people are inclined to think to themselves, you know, this is America. We kill unborn babies every day. But I don't look at it that way, Ms. Richardson. And the law does not allow me to consider the acts that you took prior to giving birth. But I think that your choices before birth, during birth, and after show a grotesque disregard for life. But because of policy decisions that are beyond my purview, the jury was not permitted to consider those things, and neither am I. So I don't hold those things against you in the sentencing. I find that you are amenable to community control. It's a mandatory community control case. I'm going to place you on 3 years of basic supervision. I'm going to impose upon you the standard rules of community control, and I'm going to delegate to your officer the ability to make special or additional conditions as they see fit. I'm going to order as a term of your community control that you spend 7 days in the county jail. I'm going to credit you the 7 days that you have already done, which means that you are going to be going home today. Your stated prison term is going to be 12 months in prison. I'm not sending you to prison today, but if you violate the terms of community control, I can impose up to the maximum penalty in this case. This includes an optional period of post-release control. If I send you to prison, the adult parole authority then has the option but not the requirement to supervise you for up to 3 years after your release. If they impose that supervision and you violate the terms, you can be returned to prison for up to 1/2 of my original sentence. Or if you violate by committing a new felony, then you can be returned to prison for up to 1 year, or the amount of time you have left on post-release control. It's automatically, whichever of those is the longer period, it's automatically consecutive to the sentence that you would receive for the new felony. None of this prison business matters to you at all as long as you don't violate the terms of community control.
Guys, what she did was no different from what doctors in the nation's murder mills do every single day with the government's blessings. If they're going to put her on trial for murder, they should put all those doctors on trial for murder as well. And all the politicians who legalized murderous activities. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below. I'll see you guys in the next video.